It doesn't really matter what clothes I wear, or how I'm fair, or if my hair is brown. It's only another sound. It's so good to have you here with me. I am Robert, your humble messenger of the Law of One. Welcome. It's my pleasure. Oh boy! Welcome to the Law of One study channel. It's my pleasure to share with you conscious channeling of LL research. I am Hatonn. I am with this instrument. I greet you, my friends, in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. It is a great privilege to be with you this evening. I am Hatonn. I speak to you from a craft. The craft is known to your peoples as an unidentified flying object. We are seen in your skies, and we are known as unidentified. Let us consider, my friends, the meaning of identified. Identified. Let us consider, my friends, the meaning of identified. Identified, my friends, is something that you understand. What do you understand? Peoples of your planet believe that they understand many things. They do not understand the unidentified flying objects that are in their skies. What they do not realize is that they do not understand anything, for they have not attempted to understand anything. Your scientist has created what you consider to be many marvels, but these marvels lack true understanding. These marvels of your science, as you consider them, have been given to your peoples within the past very few of your years. They have been given for a purpose. It has been part of a program that has manifested upon your planet. Up until the very recent past, your planet has enjoyed but very little so-called scientific advance. Within the past 100 of your years, there has been an advance in your knowledge, what you consider to be science, of many, many thousandfold. This advance was not an advance brought about unaided. This advance was not from within the simple advance of the understanding of those who were progressing upon your planet. This advance was highly augmented. This advance was highly augmented, my friends, for a purpose. Unfortunately, this advance has included not only benefits to man on Earth, but he has also used it to create many devices that are far from beneficial. We are very sorry that this has occurred, but it was necessary for man on Earth to experience certain benefits of what you know as a technological nature prior to the termination of the great cycle of time through which your world has passed. It would have been possible for the cycle to have terminated, of course, with no more advance in technology than was appreciated over 100 of your years ago. However, this was not deemed to be as efficient a way of producing the necessary information so that all those who would attempt to seek would find the information that they sought. As strange as it may seem to you, my friends, the entire technological advance your civilization has experienced in the past 100 or so years has been for the purpose of increasing the ability of those who seek new intellectual understandings to find intellectual answers which will lead them to non-intellectual truths. It is difficult for a society primarily intent upon maintenance of the physical body to spend much time actively seeking in a spiritual way. It is difficult for those who seek spiritual truths to find them if there is very little dissemination or publication available to you. This may seem paradoxical in that we have stated many times that meditation is the only real pathway to complete understanding. My friends, we do not wish to confuse by attempting to point out to you that your present technological systems are necessary to augment this seeking in a most satisfactory manner. We, however, do state that they do accomplish this purpose in more than one way. There are those who have become fascinated within this illusion that they presently enjoy as they would become fascinated with the physical aspects of any illusion, regardless of its relatively technological aspects. These are the ones who cannot be greatly helped. Unfortunately, it is not those that have spent much time in physical labor in order to simply exist upon your earth world. It is those who have been provided with more leisure time to extend their seeking that we are primarily concerned with. Many civilizations have existed upon your planet. It is true that many of these have reached great advancement prior to their destruction. It is also true that the reason for this advancement prior to their destruction was to provide an atmosphere for spiritual seeking that was not as prevalent in a more primitive environment. This is not the decision of any particular person. It is not the decision of a council. These things do not come about because of a specific plan. This comes about in a more natural way as many entities find an attraction to the experiences that will be generated near the end of a cycle such as this one. They are drawn into physical experience, and those who are drawn into the experience are those of a more advanced nature. This includes, of course, technological as well as many other forms of previous experiences which then are reflected in their works during their present experiences within the physical. There is a general overseeing, you might say, for each planet, but this is much less controlled or directed than would be appreciated by those of your peoples who are accustomed to the careful direction of their present governments. It is then an aspect of the termination of your present cycle that you appreciate great technological advancement with respect to previous experience of your planet's inhabitants for many thousands of years. It was the same condition that created relatively great technological advancements upon the continent known to you as Atlantis. We of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the one infinite Creator are here to aid those who seek. We are here also to help them understand conditions that they meet in their daily experiences. We are attempting at this time to point out to you that your present experience upon the surface of this planet is somewhat unique in the light of what we would consider normal conditions upon your planet. Normal conditions upon your planet, my friends, are not at all technological. When viewed over a period of several thousands of years, you will find that people in general have been intellectually extremely unenlightened. There have been, of course, those few scholars throughout all of the experiences and ages who have been remembered and studied. We are speaking, my friends, of what you would call the man on the street. He has, in your society, been educated only within the past 100 of your years to any extent at all. This is unique, not common. This was the case in the experience known to you as Atlantis. Many of those who dwelled within that experience are now returning and have returned into the physical to experience once more a termination, a change. And this time an even more grand change than that which they experienced before. It may seem that it is not too wise for such technological advancement to fall upon a people whose spiritual qualities are so lacking. And in this, my friends, we are in complete agreement. However, we are unable to control such matters since they are generated primarily by the desire of those who are of the earth, but who are not in physical form. We are, however, able and willing, if necessary, to terminate certain totally insane actions which could conceivably be originated with respect to your nuclear weapons. Unfortunately, these weapons are of such a nature so as to endanger not only the peoples of your planet in a physical way, but also in a way so as to terminate their existence. It will be necessary, therefore, for an intervention to be made by those of us of the Confederation who monitor the aspects of these nuclear weapons. If such a condition manifests, we of the Confederation of Planets do not wish to interfere and cannot interfere in the activities of peoples of this planet, with very few exceptions. Interference of a nature to terminate such nuclear warfare is, however, within that which we will accomplish. It is interesting to note that the dissemination of information about the teachings of the one known to you as Jesus, the last great teacher upon your planet, are almost negligible with respect to the numbers of peoples aware of them for many years after his passing from your planet. It is interesting to note that at this time, dissemination of his teachings are at their maximum. Unfortunately, as we have said before, his teachings are not understood, even though there now exist upon your planet a communication system which will reach a very large percentage of the peoples in many of the areas of your planet's surface, especially those peoples who have evolved to a point where they can use their intellects to augment their natural seeking. It is very often that words are misunderstood for one reason or another. The difficulty, my friends, is the constant use of the intellect, taught to all people who have been educated. There is very little spiritual training that would be most helpful in supplying a spiritual development in a growing entity. As the physical body grows, the entity within is educated upon those portions of your planet which are now receiving the aid of technological advances. This enables one's intellect to grow and one's body to grow. But there is much lacking after these two items have been mastered. We are aware that you already feel this to be so. The question of what to do about it in your own existence is twofold. In the first place, what you do within your own situation, spiritually speaking, we would suggest will be a function of one thing only, and that is your understanding of the lesson which you are to learn. Each situation that you surround yourself with in general is a part of a lesson, or a lesson for you. We are not referring to daily details which occur under the simple laws of chance. We are referring to the overall trend of generalized direction or general dimension of your situation. Whatever the difficulty is in this situation, the approach we would suggest spiritually is to take it, as we may predictably say, to meditation. Out of meditation, you will come out with some understanding, not in your life, but simply in you, of the lesson of the job to be done within that situation in doing the job, in a workmanlike and cheerful as manner as your meditation has given you the ability to maintain. As you accomplish your work within that lesson, the circumstances about you will alter of their own accord. The constant feeling of pressure from outside is an illusion, my friends. Sometimes an extremely heavy one, but only an illusion. Your lessons will be learned from within. This is our feeling about the truth, spiritually speaking. We are aware that technology presses hard against spiritual seeking and may seem in many ways a harsh antithesis. And yet, my friends, all things are one, and so meditation on a regular basis will proceed with you as you go along your path. The question of how to instill the type of training of the spirit to which we refer is a question that is very difficult for us to answer for you. It would be necessary to have communities centered about the great truths of the Spirit. It would be necessary to have in each person and in each such group of people who have banded together a spirit of understanding and seeking. It would simply be necessary to have a completely different type of environment than you have now. There is much that can be done within the sanctity of your own life. Those people of like mind may provide for you, and those dependent upon you, an atmosphere conducive to spiritual growth. In your own household, much may be done to encourage the constant awareness of the love of the infinite Creator. Where growing entities are aware, as their bodies and their minds mature, that their infinite and eternal spirit is real and is capable of maturing also. If there was a place they might choose to go, and with no pressure or suggestion, seek one's own peace and find one's own truth, then the training for the spirit might be a much more possible thing for those upon your planet's surface. Needless to say, my friends, we have not found rich earth for planting this idea in too many places. However, you are welcome to it. At this time, my friends, I will leave this instrument. I leave you in the Creator's love and light. Adone, my friends, Adone.